Right, we're looking at the food chain worksheet. Right, let's look at this. Caterpillars feed on hawthorn bushes. So there's a caterpillar. It eats this leaf from the hawthorn bush. Then caterpillars are eaten by a small bird. And then this carnivorous meat eating is a sparrowhawk, bird of prey, and eats that. I just want to highlight this. Can you see which way the arrows are pointing? The energy is going from this into this. The energy is going from that into that. So the arrowheads point up. Don't do the arrowheads the other way around. Right. So now we have a table where we've got data collected from a hedgerow. So you've got an organism, caterpillar, Chinook, hawthorn, sparrow. Right. This is a primary. No, I lie. This is a producer. It makes its own food. This makes its own food through a process called photosynthesis. Right, this is the primary. Oh, should pay more attention. This is a primary consumer because it eats the producer. The secondary consumer eats the caterpillar. And this is a tertiary consumer. Tertiary just means third layer, second layer, first layer. Right, now we've got to draw a, so this is more like a, right, we've got to draw an accurate pyramid of numbers. So you can have a pyramid of mass. You can have a pyramid of numbers. And the reason they use a pyramid is because by the time you've done, it looks like it's getting lower each time. So for example, if we did it in terms of just say the mass, hawthorn bush, that's the caterpillar, that's the bird or the dunnock, dunnock, yeah, and that is the sparrowhawk. Okay, we've got to now draw this somehow. Right. So this looks like a of the numbers, yeah. So basically, what we do is you've got 80 caterpillars at the bottom. So right, this will be interesting. Let me have a quick look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I've got 8, and I've got 80. So what I could do, I could quite easily draw a line. How am I going to do this without? Should I? Shapes. We have a zillion. Okay. I could, because it works out really nice, actually. I can draw a line, 80. I can draw another line. I could draw it here at 80. And if I am, okay. I could then just join these. So let's pretend I've got a ruler. Now, because this is 80. So if I do it from here, just say that's 0. I can go 40 this way and 40 this way. So altogether I've got 80. Right? And I will call this caterpillar. Right, now I can move on to the next one. I can do 8. So I need, if that is 0, I need to go 4 this way. I can go up to there. I can draw this freehand because it's short enough. Yeah. So you've got Dunnock. You've got 8 Dunnocks. Right, I can now do 4 of these. So look, that's 0. I go 2 on this side and 2 on this side. So go up carefully, go across, 1, 2, and there. So that there will be the, I'll call it a bush. And then we've just got 1. This will be interesting. Right, what I could do if I'm careful, I do half up, along, and half along, and then down. And this will be the hawk, or the sparrow hawk. So I've just drawn a pyramid of numbers, and I've done it accurately because each one of these little squares in that direction represents 1. And we've got 80 here. Right, hopefully that was helpful. Describe how the pyramid of biomass, remember what we said, bio, it just means life. So biomass is mass of living organisms. Right. Describe how the pyramid of biomass for the same data would differ from the pyramid of numbers. Right, okay. If you think about it, the hawthorn bush is, in terms of mass, it's going to be huge, right? Then you've got caterpillars. Ew. No? Way up. Don't think so somehow. Right, let me try that again. Then you've got, that's the mass. There'll be loads of them. And then you've got, right, so you've got the mass of the hawthorn bush, then you've got the mass of caterpillars, and then you've got the mass of what comes after that. You've got the mass of Dunnocks. Whoa, what was that all about? Dunnocks. And then you've just got the mass of the hawk. So it would be a pyramid shape like this, a classical pyramid shape. Yeah, so we can say it would be a pyramid or pyramid shape, since different organisms have different masses or biomasses. Let's call it masses. That's it. And you just represent it with different widths of bar. Right, explain why. Okay, this is that rabbit question, isn't it? Explain why not all energy in a producer passes to the primary consumer. So what they're saying is, look, so the example that is a good one is you've got all this grass here. just say 100 kilograms, and you've got a rabbit here. Why doesn't this grow by 100 kilograms or thereabouts? Right, the reason is, right, first of all, right, the most obvious one, yeah, not all the grass is eaten. So for example, the roots won't be eaten. Some of the grass dies. Right, not all of the right, what we'll do is I'm talking about the rabbit now, and it's talking about this. So leaf, not all of the leaf is eaten, or not all the leaves are eaten. Some of the leaves die. They fall on the ground. It's autumn and they'll just decay. Okay, not all of the leaves, or not all of the food is digested. And what did we say? Let's just jump back. Right, food you take in through the mouth is called in in really ingestion. Then you break it down, you do digestion. So this is where the food's broken down, this is where you take it in your mouth, and then when you get rid of it, when you poo it out, it's called egestion. Egestion. Okay, those are the three things. So not all of the food is digested because you don't have the enzymes to break it down and absorb it. Right. Some energy is lost due to respiration. So you lose, that's energy for movement, keeping the body warm. You have, okay, that'll do it. So remember, some is lost through respiration, some is lost through movement, some is ingested, not all of it's eaten, and some of it dies. So those are the main reasons. Okay, some farmers are removing hedges in order to increase the size of their fields. This means that the number of hawthorn bushes will decrease. Suggest how removing hawthorn bushes, so having less of them, will affect the size of the little bird population. So first of all, how will it affect the size of the bird population? Let's answer that. First sentence should be, it will decrease the numbers. This is because there is less food for the caterpillars. Right, so less food available for dunnocks. Okay, there you go. Right, I'll have to leave it there. Pigeons are birds that eat seeds. They are hunted by predators called hawks. Use this information to draw a food chain. So look, pigeons eat seeds. So I tend to draw that and then put seeds. Up arrow to the pigeons. So let me draw this in a different color. So you have pigeons there, and energy is going up, so draw an up arrow, and then up arrow and a there you go. Banksy, eat your heart out. Do. Right, okay, and that is a hawk, and that'll get you your marks. Right, that was it. Right, let's move on. Next one. This food chain shows feeding relationship in a paddy field in Sri Lanka. Hmm. Right. So the producer is here. What did we say a producer was? Something that uses the sun, photosynthesis to make its own food. This eats the producer, so this is called the primary consumer. The Asian toad eats the beetle, so it's the secondary consumer. And the mongoose is the tertiary. Tertiary, just checking the spelling. Tertiary consumer. Okay, name the producer. The rest. The secondary consumer is the Asian toad. The Asian toad. Give 2 environmental factors that could affect. Okay. What environmental factors? What sort of things affect? Right. Okay. Temperature, obviously, and moisture. Those are the 2 most obvious ones that come to my mind. Moisture. Right. You can also say the amount of sunlight, the amount of CO2 levels, carbon dioxide levels, and the quality of the soil and so they've said minerals in soil. So you can choose any of those. Suggest why a farmer might want to choose a chemical pesticide test. Right, remember you have 2. Yeah, you have 2 types of pest control. Pest controller. First one is biological. So for example, here they've introduced the Asian toad to eat the beetles to stop eating the plants. And then the mongoose likes to eat way up. The mongoose likes to eat the Asian toad. So if the mongoose is too successful, it starts eating the Asian toads, which then will stop eating the beetles, which will ruin more crops. So you don't want that. Right. Suggest why a farmer might choose to use a chemical pesticide. Did I carry on with that? No, I didn't. So you also have a chemical pest control. This is quick, but it's short-lived. It can cause harm to other organisms. What else can it do? Right, you can also end up with resistance to it, like an antibiotic resistance. And then that pesticide is no longer effective, so you've got to produce another one, and then that might be toxic to humans. Biological, it lasts long, it is usually cheaper, but the problem it can harm other organisms. So for example, if I wanted to get rid of, I don't know, just say a beetle, I introduce the toad. What if it starts eating other organisms? What if it started eating ladybirds, and then the ladybirds would stop eating the aphids, and then the aphids would start chomping on the plants, and it'd kill the plants. So it could have other harmful effects. So why would a farmer choose that? Because in his paddy field is to kill off the pest. And what's the benefit of that? It's a 2 marker, so less crops eaten. Done. Describe how a farmer could use biological control in his. So what he could do, remember what we said here, he can either reduce the number of mongoose, or he can increase the number of Asian toads. Increase number of Asian toads, so more beetles eaten, so less crop damage. Or we could have gone down the other route where we could have said reduce mongoose levels, so less toads eaten, or number of toads can increase. Number of toads can increase. Okay. Right, we've got a food web. So watch this. You've got that there is called the, what is that called? It's making its own food through photosynthesis. Okay, so this is called the primary. I keep calling it primary. It's just a producer, not a primary producer. Let's use, it's a producer. It's a producer. Right. Now, look at this thing here. This here is on 2 levels. It's a primary consumer because it's eating directly off the oak nuts. Primary consumer. But if you look, it eats a primary consumer as well. So at that level, through this way, it becomes a secondary consumer because it's on this second level in that instance. Right. So let's look at that. We need to complete this. Right, let's get rid of this. Right. Number of producers is, there's 1 producer. Number of herbivores is 4. Right, herbivore. 1, 2, 3. Well, I think they've called this a herbivore. Sorry, a mouse a herbivore because it's eating that, but I would class it as a omnivore because it's eating that. I don't know. right? So they've said for number of secondary consumers. So look, we've got one there. We've got one here. So that's the secondary consumer because look, because of that route. Okay. 2, 3, and then this is a secondary consumer through either that route or that route. So we have 4 secondary consumers. I can write it like this. That's being lazy. Let's not be lazy. We tell students not to be lazy, we're not lazy. 4. The number of food chains is, whoa. Okay, let's get rid of all this. Let's try that again. Right, so yeah, that's all fantastic. Genius, that is. 1 food chain, 2 food chain, 3 food chain, 4 food chain. Okay, so that's 4. Now we're going to try this. 5 and 6. So we have 6 food chains. Right, let's move on. 26 minutes. Right. Here's a question which is saying, what effect would the decrease in population of size in the population size of caterpillars have on the... Right, it would decrease it because the caterpillar... let's get rid of you. Right. The caterpillar, if you reduce that, you reduce the beetle and the ant, and the blue jay lives off them too. So if there's less of these, there'll be less of them, which means that you can't support life with that. So that's why it would decrease. Right, what does the word population mean? Population. Right, it's the number of... oh, let's write it here actually. Number of the same, and they emphasize the word same species, yeah. In a habitat, or in an area, in a, just say habitat. Right. Ticks feed on deer by sucking their blood. Name 2 different molecules that are found in blood. Right, you could say it's got carbohydrate, and just say protein or amino acids. You can also have lipids. You can name minerals or ions. So for example, sodium ion. You could say, you could have vitamin, just say C, and it will contain water. So any of these. Right, we'll stop this video here, and we'll do the rest in another video.